2025 was a weird year for movies. Some movies completely surprised me and some were massive disappointment, but a few ended up becoming some of my favorite movies I've watched in the last couple years. So today I'm ranking every movie I watched in 2025 from the absolute best to the ones I wish I never watched. This isn't a video of everything that came out this year, it's just all the major releases I personally watched, from big franchises to superhero movies to some horror movies, some animated, and a few surprises that I didn't think I was going to watch. Just keep in mind, this is my full personal opinion and experience with these movies and how they hit for me and where I think they land overall in the tier list, so don't take it too harshly if I rate your movie low or whatever it might be. But let's jump right into the ranking. First off, we have Accountant 2. I really did enjoy this movie, and the dynamic between Jon Bernthal and Ben Affleck sells the brothers' relationship and makes you care about the characters a bit more. So I think I'm just gonna stick this movie at B tier to start off. Next up, we have Eddington. The cast killed it, and it was a weirdly entertaining movie. And going in, I had no idea what this movie was about. Turns out it was politics, and I'm not a huge fan of that, so that's why it's not gonna be higher. I'm just gonna stick it right at C tier. Oh, and now we got Fantastic Four. This movie came into the MCU with a fully fresh take. The cast all work with their characters, which is something I didn't really expect. And the CGI is done really well, plus you can't go wrong with Galactus. So that's an A tier movie. And ooh, we got the Minecraft movie. See, this is a hard one for me because I like this movie. I love Minecraft my whole life. And I also love Jack Black and his movies, but they didn't hit the mark with this movie. It's fun, yeah, but it's just not the movie I was hoping it was going to be. So it's just going to be a solid D tier. Oh, and now we have Ballerina. I love John Wick movies, and this is actually a pretty good movie, but it's also probably the weakest of the John Wick franchise. Not because it's bad, but because it's such a high bar. And if you love action movies, you'll probably like this movie, so I'm just gonna stick it at C tier. And we all know, next we got Snow White. This is probably the worst live action adaptation ever made. It didn't even get close to getting it right, and I could barely get through the entire movie. So this is our first F tier. Oh, and F1. I was never really an F1 fan, so going to this movie I had zero expectations, and it didn't disappoint at all. The way they shoot the races is immersive, and the dynamic between Sonny and Joshua is flawless. Easily a top 5 movie of the year. So it's going in S tier. How to Train Your Dragon live action. I did really enjoy this movie, and I think they did it insanely well. Probably one of the best live action remakes ever in my opinion, and the only reason why it's not higher is because it is a 1-to-1 live action remake, but I think B tier is a good spot for this movie. Now we have Jurassic World Rebirth. I like this movie. I thought it was pretty good, but it also doesn't live up to any of the previous movies. The dinosaur CGI is good and the actors do a good job, but I feel like the franchise just keeps doing the same thing over and over, so I'm just gonna put this one at C tier. And The Long Walk. I went into this movie with zero expectations, and it really is a great movie. It really caught me off guard with how emotional it was, and the way they build the characters' relationships is very well thought out, and the payoff in the finale was really good. So I think this is an A tier movie. Oh man, Borderlands. Again, just like Snow White, this is one of the worst adaptations ever made, and I honestly turned it off halfway through. I couldn't even get through it. So that's gonna be our second F tier. Oh, and The Running Man. The premise of this movie is actually pretty cool and not something I have seen before. Not to mention the acting is deeper than the movie asks for, and the actors all kill it. And a lot of the action is believable, but he 100% should have taken more damage or been more injured by the end. And this movie is placed a lot higher than I expected. And now we have Weapons. And I thought Weapons was a pretty good movie. It's probably the best horror movie I watched this year, even though it wasn't perfect. The story is compelling enough, and the way it builds tension was amazing. And I say this is the best horror movie of the year because I don't really consider Sinners to be a scary movie. It's more of like an action drama in my opinion. So with that said, I'm gonna stick this at a high B tier. Oh, and now we have Predator Killer of Killers. I'm a huge Predator franchise fan, and I actually thought this was really good. Each chapter of the movie shows a different character, all leading up to the final chapter where they all get captured by the Yautja and have to come together and fight with each other to escape. So I think with that in mind, this is probably going to be a B tier. Oh, and one battle after another. Easily a top 3 movie of the year. The actors are all great in this movie. The family dynamic is probably the best I've seen in any movie this year. And the music sets the scenes and helps push emotional moments even further. And that's basically a cherry on top. Or that's going to be our second S tier. And next up, it looks like we have Captain America Brave New World. I like this movie a lot, but it does feel more like a sequel to the 2008 Hulk movie and not really a new Captain America movie. So it would be higher, but because of that, I'm going to put it at C. Oh, and we have a double whammy for Marvel right now. And in my opinion, this is probably the best superhero movie of the year. The way it tackles mental health and overall emotions and bonds is flawless. And the group's team up is also believable. Like the way they show the growth over the course of the movie makes sense. And it isn't like, okay, we're all friends now. So with that being said, and it being the best superhero movie in my opinion of the year, I'm going to put it at high A. And now we have Knives Out DEADMAN. I've always been a fan of the Knives Out movies, and Daniel Craig always carries these in my opinion. But I'm going to be honest with this one. In the first act and leading into the second act, I wasn't feeling it. It felt long and too slow paced. But as the story develops, it gets way better really fast. And the actual reveal of what happened was a good payoff to the entire plot of the movie. So even though it was slow at the start, it really ramped up and got good quick, so I'm gonna stick it at A tier. Oh, and now we have Mickey 17, and this movie completely surprised me and was better than I thought it was going to be, and I'm pretty curious to see where it goes if they decide to make a sequel. But I'm gonna stick that at a low C tier. I think that's a good spot for it. And now, listen, 28 years later, I made a video on it, and it is part of a 3-part series, like not the first 2. It's gonna be the first to a new trilogy where each one leads directly into the other. So this movie did have a lot of setup, and if I'm being honest, it's not even the best out of the 3 that have already come out, but it's still a solid movie and it beats the second one any day of the week. So since it's not the best or the worst, I'm just gonna stick it at a middle C tier. I think that's a good spot for it. Oh, and now we have The Electric State. This movie is a $300 million disaster. The cast in this movie is pretty good and the idea is pretty cool, but the execution was horrible. I can always get behind a Chris Pratt movie, but this one just, it wasn't it. It was terrible. It was bad. Except for the little robot guy. I really liked him and his arc through the movie was really cool. But since that was the main redeeming quality, I'm just going to stick it at D tier. And now we have Final Destination Bloodlines. This is just another Final Destination movie. It's good, but it doesn't do anything game-changing or groundbreaking. But I will say, if you like the OG ones, you'll probably enjoy and like this movie as well. But for me personally, it's just a high D tier. And Superman. This is easily the best Superman movie since Reeves. And James Gunn really did cook with this movie. Oh, and I'm going to say this. Hopefully Netflix buying Warner Brothers doesn't mess anything up with the new DCU because the way they're going is really awesome. But this movie was pretty good and I did enjoy it. So I'll stick it up at mid A tier. Oh man, now we got Five Nights at Freddy's too. We all know this movie wasn't good. The animatronics are barely in the movie despite being promoted as such. And the ending, in my opinion, I just didn't like it. It was terrible. And it almost was like they tried to do an Avengers Endgame like V2 thing. Like they try to copy Avengers where they bring I just didn't like it. And it's almost funny how bad it was. Don't hate me for that. If you love the games, from my point of view, I've never played them. So give me some slack there if you love these movies. It wasn't worse than Snow White or Borderlands. It's almost D tier. I just didn't like it. I liked the first one a lot more. Now we have Sinners. Sinners. I think this movie speaks for itself, to be honest. The music, the cast, the acting, it's all perfect. And the number of times you can rewatch this movie is also a huge bonus. Easily another top 5 movie of the year. And it's going right at S tier. Even though I just glazed Sinners, that it was all true, it wasn't my favorite of the year. Predator Badlands was my favorite movie of the year. I said this earlier where I said I love the Predator franchise, and this one, it just does something completely new, something we haven't seen before. It gives us the view from a Predator's perspective, and you just don't expect the emotional beats they have in this movie. So I think that's my favorite. It probably isn't yours, but it's definitely S tier, I think, overall for anyone who watches it. Oh man, Tron Ares. I watched this movie about a week ago for me doing this tier list right now, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember anything that happened. It's just one of those fun action movies. The cast was alright, just very forgettable. So I'm gonna put this movie at a high D tier. Oh, Death of Unicorn. This movie wasn't scary and I didn't like it, to be honest. It's another one of those movies I could barely get through. I'd say the cast did pretty good though, and I can always get behind a Paul Rudd movie. But with that being said, it's just gonna be like a mid D tier. And last but not least, we have Wicked 2. Don't crucify me here. I'm already not a huge fan of musicals, but I thought I'd give the second one a chance since I did enjoy the first one quite a bit. But with this one, I thought it was okay. Nothing crazy. I just thought it was okay. So it's going to be a high D tier. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I'm not a big fan of the style of movie. And next up, it looks like we have Happy Gilmore 2. And the first movie is an actual classic, and that definitely helps the movie's placement. And I'm gonna be honest, this movie kind of just follows in the original's footsteps. It's still a funny and like a fun movie that you can enjoy watching, but I think C tier is a good place for it. Now we have The Bad Guys 2, and this is probably my favorite new-ish animated franchise. These movies aren't like huge or insanely popular, but I found them and I've been following it ever since. So when the sequel came out, I was really excited to watch it, and I would highly recommend watching these two movies if you're just an animated movie fan in general. So I'm gonna stick this movie at a high B tier. Oh, and next up we have Him. This is just a terrible movie, I'm gonna be honest. I watched it because it was a Wayans brother movie, and I'm a huge football fan as well, but it just wasn't good. It was very disappointing. So this movie is gonna be our 4th F tier, but it's still not as bad as Borderlands or Snow White. And next up we have NOVOCAINE. I haven't watched this movie in a while, but I remember it being pretty good. And again, it's nothing groundbreaking, just a crazy and entertaining action movie where a guy can't feel pain, so he's almost like a superhero. But since it's still a pretty fun movie, I'm gonna stick it at a low B tier. And last but not least, we have K-pop Demon Hunters. And I did not think I was gonna like this movie at all, but by my surprise, it was actually really good. Again, I'm not a fan of musicals, but I think the animation and writing really benefited this movie and just made it that much better. So I'm gonna stick this at a high A tier. You might be a little bit surprised, but I really enjoyed it. And that's going to clear up the tier list. But before we wrap things up, there are a few big movies that came out this year that I actually haven't seen yet, but I still wanted to mention them just in case you saw them and you thought I would rank them, because I'm genuinely excited to check them out. And that's Zootopia 2. I really liked the first one, so I'm curious to see where the sequel goes. And I've always had a lot of fun with the Now You See Me movies, and I really hope the third one keeps the same energy, so I'm excited for that one too. Oh, but the big hitter I haven't seen yet while making this video, even though this video comes out after it came out, is Avatar Fire and Ash. This movie is easily one of the most anticipated movies going out this year, so I can't wait to watch it. With that said, before I head out, I want to quickly highlight my top 3 movies of the year. Not because these movies are the best or like the best, these are just the ones I like the most, and these are the ones I'll probably rewatch the most, and that's Predator: Badlands, Sinners, and F1. All 3 of these movies delivered in completely different ways. Any one of them could easily be my favorite on any given different day. I may have missed a few smaller ones that I didn't put on the list, or I don't really remember watching, or I watched early in the year. So if you watch any movies that I didn't list, write them down in the comments. And that's gonna wrap up my full tier list of movies I watched in 2025. If you agree with these rankings, that's awesome. And if you don't, let me know which movies you'd move up or down in the comments below. I'm very curious to see other people's opinions, to see if they agree, see if they disagree, just kind of get a grasp on what other people thought. But I will say this video also wraps up my 25 days of Christmas movie marathon. So if you've been watching along through the reviews, I really appreciate it. I cannot tell you enough how happy I am to be able to bring these videos to you guys, and it gives me like a purpose and something I can work at every day and improve on, something I can strive for. So that really means a lot to me. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the marathon and the year on the channel. Stay tuned for January 1st because that's when the next video drops. Have a great Christmas, have an amazing New Year's. Again, thank you guys for the support, and as always, stay curious and keep the conversation going.